let's talk about my preferences, what gets my juices flowing, what makes me tick. What I'm looking for and what I really like is more of a balanced sound signature with a slight bass boost. I like my bass, but I like my bass tight, I like it fast, I like it to hit hard and have some slam. I do not like that extra big bass shelf boost that's sub-bass driven, where the lower bass is scooped out. I think it's really important to have that information down there to make instrumental like piano, guitar, cello sound correct. But also I like the bass fast enough, speedy enough to make kick drums sound great. When it comes to the rest of the mids, I prefer an overall, maybe slightly warm tilt. I'm not a big fan of overly analytical, too dry a tuning. I'd rather have something a bit more musical. When we start to climb up into the ear gain region, make that pinna gain not so steep, but give some energy to some body into the mids. Again, making vocals sound correct, making instrumentals sound correct. I'm a big fan of timbre and tonality when it comes to instrumental as well. It has to sound correct to my ears. That 5K area also, I'm a bit sensitive to it. If there's too much information up there, I get fatigue, I get ringing in my ears, and it just doesn't let me play it longer and, more importantly, louder, because I do like my tunes louder. When it comes to the rest of the frequencies up top, I do like an extended treble, but not a peak above the pinna rise. Keep it extended, keep it detailed, but don't put too much energy up there for treble sensitive people like myself. It's got to have enough information to make great stage, to give instrument placement, to make strings sound good, female vocals that aren't too thick. That's what really gets me going, and that's what I'm looking for sound preference wise.
Ikana, Jansen. You want something done, just do it yourself. Don't ask me anything, do it yourself. And I woke up one day, looked in the mirror, said, what you doing, man, do it yourself. What you waiting for, just do it yourself. You don't need no one, just do it yourself. Picked up the skill, I picked up the wealth. Now they can't say anything, I do it myself. Wanna go somewhere, I take myself out. You want a long take, yeah, no doubt. Get it done, yo, give me a shot. Yeah, you want it suited, give me a shout. F that vibe, get rid of the doubt. Yo, answers there, I'll figure it out. Drop me the video, we'll figure it out. London's fast with bubbles and stout. Old school flows, what you talking about? Late night shows I've been running around. From north to south I've been running around, but couldn't care less if they talk to me now. Where was you then? We've been sorting it out for a hot minute, hot second, carving the sound. Layers got layers, you know we get down. No bad vibes here, yeah, that's not alert. You want something done, just do it yourself. Don't ask me anything, do it yourself. And I woke up one day, looked in the mirror, said, what you doing, man, do it yourself. What you waiting for, just do it yourself. You don't need no one, just do it yourself. Picked up the skill, I picked up the wealth. Now they can't say anything, I do it myself. Do it yourself.
Kom igen, gör det då. Kom igen, gör det då.
Do it.
Vad går du och väntar på? Går du och väntar på?
Do it yourself.
Kom igen, gör det då. Kom igen, gör det då.
Like Doja, yeah, we paint the town red. Thought you was close, I left you one bread in the meeting, yeah, make note of what I said. If I'm eating, yeah, we're sharing that bread. Get it done, I do it instead. But truth is, I can see inside your head. So I do it myself, don't do it for them. Do it for the family, do it for a friend. Don't wait on anyone, I say it again. All I need is me and my pen. Healing, feeling, yeah, on the men. But seeding, reading every day zen. Tell me, when's the ETA then? Work around the clock like Big Ben. Do it myself, don't do it for them, yeah. You want something done, just do it yourself. Don't ask me anything, do it yourself. And I woke up one day.
First, there was the butterfly. It's very nice. Then came the dragonfly. Bigger, meaner. 2 more BAs in this bad boy. And a different tuning. Oh, wow, that was terrible. Let's try this again. Here we go. Pictures at the beginning. It's quite nice. Second generation carbon coated PU polyurethane, plastic, a 10 millimeter dynamic driver in the Dragonfly, 8 BAs, 31736 for the highs, and then 4 for the mids. There you go. This cable, though. Okay, so the Butterfly has a gorgeous 4-core cable, bit thicker, and in comparison, what they did is they thinned it down. More flexible, softer, looks exactly the same. Probably the nicest SPC modular cable I have yet see packaged with an IM at any price. Right angle, you get 3.5 and 4.4 balanced. It has a really nice little system where it, see if you can hear it click in. Very solid, excellent splitter. The chin slider almost stays in place. I don't really care. I don't use that, but for you guys that do, or girls, there you be. On the side has the Juzear Dragonfly 81T left and right. Really nice finishing. Same as it was on the Butterfly. Really gorgeous. And the same case. So this little case, a little small on the, but it goes in nicely with the cable. So no real complaints there. $249. Certainly no complaints there. Wow. What you're getting in the end of 2024, there's so many, wow. And for you guys to pick and choose, pretty tough. There was the Fool's Performer 7, the Pula, Anvil, this one, the Meyer Audio D62, there is tons. The ones that stand out for me still, I think, are the Butterfly, the Pula Anvil, and the Performer 7 in those price points. Now, this one you might be interested in. It depends on your sound signature, and let's get into this. Super easy to drive, 32 ohms, 117 dB, pretty easy. They say one of the things, micro hole pressure balance system, and let me talk about that right now. One of the things for me that I encountered was pressure buildup with the Dragonfly, where I didn't get that with the Butterfly. So just something to be aware of. I'm super sensitive to it. I can immediately sense the symptoms. Some people can't. If you're getting a lack of bass, it might be because of that. So for me, Divinus regular tips are in use, and that completely eliminates the pressure buildup for me, or foam tips. So just to touch base on that, if you've never seen any of my videos and actually heard me talking about it, pressure, what happens in your ear is mostly with BA sets, and this one is vented, but it's got a lot of BAs in it, so it's like it cancels out the bottom end bass and makes it super sharp on the top end. If I get pressure buildup, and the first thing, it's an uncomfortable. I'm very sensitive to it, but I'm also attuned to it. So I know what I'm listening and feeling when I encounter sets. So I did get my impressions correct after I kind of self-diagnosed myself, in fact, with this set. So if you are super pressure sensitive, tips are going to be even more important on this set than ever. Let's talk about the evolution. First, there was the 41T, or the Flame. It was bassy with elevated upper mids and a bit peaky treble in places. It had decent air and separation. And then came the Butterfly, and I absolutely fell in love with this one. Again, bassy, organic though, a little bit warmer mids, a smooth top end, and relaxed replay. Was not a technical set, and some people were kind of really wishing for more technicalities in the Butterfly. I personally love it for what it is. Now along comes the 81T, and Juzear, you guys are smart. It's not just throwing 2 more BAs in there and doing the same tuning. This is a different tuning, and I think I know why you threw the extra 2 in there, to get the results that you want, and it works perfectly. The Dragonfly has the most elevated top end, with lots of still upper mids and treble, where the 61T fell a bit short on. Again, those ones, people who were wanting a little bit more air and extended set with better technical chops and resolution, now is your Dragonfly. That's exactly what they did in this tuning. So if I pull up a graph and you can see all 3, it's quite clear, especially between the 61 and the 81T. And you will notice on all 3 of these sets, the bass shelf stays exactly the same. But that's not how our ears and our brain hear it. So this is a classic case study of how our brains and ears work. Where if all 3 sets have exactly the same bass shelf, you would think they all would sound bassy, but that's not how it works. And everything stays the same on these 3 sets until about 800 hertz. So why do all 3 of these sets sound different in the bass department? Well, our ears tell our brain how much and what information is coming in. So with more or less upper mids and treble, each set is giving us changes to our perception on how much of the lower octaves are influencing the tuning. The warmest and bassiest set for me is still the Butterfly, the 61T with its relaxed top end. The bass definitely carries more into the mix. 81T now changed the overall tuning by using an additional 2 balanced armatures to energize more information into the mids and the upper mids especially, and treble over the 61T. By almost 10 dB gain in the 6K region is quite a bit. This has the big effect on making the bass seem a bit shy in comparison to the 2 sets. But a bigger change was really the tonality of the vocals, especially female vocals, making them more airy and light. Not an unpleasant effect, and depending on your personal tastes, you might like that or not. It's also going to matter on this set for your library and for your preferences, and maybe even your mood. You might pick up one set over the other set. I would say the 2 sets are more complementary than they are competition to each other, which again I thought was a really smart move on Juzear's part. If you're a strings lover, 81T. Aficionado for resolution and details, 81T. Stage, 81T. Bass lover, jazz, reggae, hip-hop, rock, and like a little bit warmer, thicker chill set, 61T. Another set I quite enjoyed was the first release from I.O. Called the Valère. This was interesting. Look at this graph. And I praised it for how excellent and detailed its top end and overall great tuning was. Now that set at $539 got a lot of hype and justly deserved. But the 81T at $249 at $249, well, I simply wouldn't be considering the Valère anymore. Not at all. The tuning is virtually the same. Same great technicalities and resolution. Along comes the 81T, and one thing I took away from the Dragonfly was how well behaved the upper mids and treble come across as super controlled and detailed, airy, yet not fatiguing or harsh in any way. quite well done, a real accomplishment actually. So kudos to Juzear. Just like I praised the Valère, the 81T does a spectacular job on the upper registers, that's for sure. Now, a bit more in depth versus the Butterfly 61T. I think it's if you have that set, this is what I'm saying, is you might or might not want to pick up the 81T, depends on your preferences. So here is some impressions with music. So first up was a electric cellist I love. Her name is Tina Gao. Moon Hearts in Space. 81T. This is how it came across. Detailed, clean, resolving, standout micro details in the strings, so well rendered with a bright and airy presentation. 61T played it with a thicker note weight. The male vocals come across that way. While welcoming the additional huskiness, the 81T sounds a bit more lifelike. The cello gets pushed back in the mix, but is not as detailed. When listening side by side, I may not have picked up the bass bleed in this track without the comparison. So when you're listening to this track, and I love it on the Butterfly, but then you listen to it on the 81T and you go, oh, okay, well, I think the 61T does actually have some bass bleed into the lower mids, and that's why cello sounds so damn good, though. And the male vocals, where the 81T probably played it a little bit more to real to life. But again, with my preferences and loving a slightly warmer, mid-biased, I feel no doubt the 81T is the more accurate in the replay of the two. Gone is the added thickness and warmth of the 61T, and replaced with a more natural, neutral, faithful reproduction of that music. So, and while the 81T loses some of the thicker note weight in the bass and the mids, it adds an extra layer of depth to the music with its lighter and airier presentation. So yin and yang trade-off there, right? 61T, thicker, warmer, bassier. 81T, neutral, balanced, airier, detailed. That's how the two really, really came across to me. So in conclusion, one of the most, if not the nicest, softest behaved modular cable included in any set. All right, the right angles, that was the, right? I love that. Attention to details as well. Their fit and finish of Juzear's products is absolutely stunning. The almost flush 2-pin, not giving you a recessed 2-pin when a non-recessed socket. Those are little details that I pay attention to. Case could be nicer, but honestly, at $249, the entire package is forgiven. I will say again, the Juzear's resin shells are absolutely stunning. Second to none, only to some multi-kilo buck IAMs like the Alpha Omegas, the Canera Imperial stuff. But it certainly doesn't reflect at $249 for the fit and finish of what you're getting here. So it is so well priced. Oh my God, at 2024, especially at the end of this year, this is so competitive. And again, sets like the Fool P7, the Pula Anvil. I mean, this is a different tuning though, with those two, and this is the kind of the more little bit not as bassy, very extended, detailed set for sure. I don't think you can go wrong with the Dragonfly if you're looking for a balanced and airy set with a stellar top end and details. No, simply stand out. If you're looking for a warmer set, the 61T's got you covered, and the P7 as the between the two sets. The Pula Anvil with the special sauce of the bone conduction, and it's really phenomenal little details too. This set can stand on its own. It has a bit different tuning. And again, in this price point, very well done. Congrats to Juzear for another fabulous release, and keep the hits coming. This is Tone Deaf Monk, out for now.